Hello and welcome to day 59, 99 days of Deeper Embodiment. My name is Jason King. I'm just going to pause and tune in, waiting for others to join and simply feeling into the space of here and now, tuning into what I will be speaking about this evening, as it is this evening where I'm at. But good morning or good afternoon to you, wherever you are in the world, or good evening. So I just got finished watching a live stream done by a friend of mine and his friend, Malachi and Emily, and they spoke a lot about current events and what is arising as far as the events on the world stage, if you will, what the current events are. And this was a lot of fun. It was fun to kick it, watch this live stream, and just like feel what the ideas are around current events. I know that in a lot of places in the world right now, there's new lockdowns, there's new quarantines, and there's a lot of uncertainty that I'm feeling, a lot of anxiety around the events that are unfolding, a lot of anxiety about what is happening, and a lot of exhaustion as well. Feeling that too. So it's like, oh my God, I'm tired of this. When is this going to end? So I'm feeling that too. Um, yeah, it is. It's been a long ride. I mean, when did uh, when did the lockdown start? In March, right? So now we're almost a year, and this has been unfolding in front of us. So I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that exhaustion. Well, at the same time, there's kind of a lull as well that I'm feeling. It's kind of like, oh well, all of this chaos has been arising, while at the same time, I'm feeling like a very strong lull, you know. And in that lull, even with all the chaos that's arising, everything is okay. It's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, there's chaos here, beautiful, wonderful, and here I am, and everything is okay, even in the midst of chaos. So I really enjoyed watching the stream. Malachi Aleo and Emily Harris. If you're friends with them on Facebook, you can tune into their live stream. They really break down current events in a fun and exciting way, where you kind of feel like you're kicking it with them. And I know Malachi personally, so it does feel like that. It's like, oh yeah, you're my friend. All right, cool, awesome. Well, at the same time, I want to just shine a light on all of these ideas, because any one of these ideas can pull us in a direction where we're avoiding feeling. So if I allow any of the ideas about what's unfolding to grab me, to hook my attention, and it pulls my focus towards it, then that hook is pulling me onto an imaginary timeline. And I say imaginary because it's all imaginary, but it's imaginary from the perspective of right now, right? Because if I begin to follow that hook and I go into the imagination is right now. Right now, I'm imagining future events. I'm imagining future timelines. I'm imagining future potentials and future possibilities. So if I take the bait of that idea and I follow it, then I begin to imagine something, something that is not here right now, something that is other than what I'm feeling right here in the moment. And so one thing that I noticed as I was watching this video was that as they were talking about current events, at the same time there was a lot of agitation in their bodies. There was a lot of anxious energy, a lot of movement, going to take a drink of something, needing to be over here and do something over here, needing to move and relax. There wasn't a lot of presence, there wasn't a lot of awareness with what is here. And so there was a lot of talking about future timelines and future events and future possibilities. There was a lot of talking about things or knowledge that is researched and that comes from other sources, but there wasn't a lot of presence here and now. And this could be felt and seen as agitation, as anxiety in the body. So a lot of ideas, not a lot of presence. What is presence? Presence is being present with what the body is feeling in this now moment, fully and completely. And so, if I'm taking a journey into imagination, if I'm going on a journey into future timelines and future potentials and future possibilities, but I'm not feeling, I'm not fully present with what I'm feeling here now while I'm going on this journey in my mind, then what am I energizing? What ideas am I energizing? What is actually being felt and coming up for me? The only experience is the experience that I'm having in this moment. Now, that's all that there ever is. And so, as I'm speaking about current events and as I'm speaking about future potentials, if I'm not aware of the experience that I'm having in my body right now, then I'm creating from a place of unawareness, of not seeing, of being blind to what I'm actually experiencing. So, anytime that I'm speaking or anytime that I'm moving into ideas that have to do with anything at all, the past, the future, the past, the future, the past, the future, It's always the way that ideas are moving. It's either the past or the future. It's never right now. Because what are ideas talking about? They're talking about something that happened or something that is going to happen. Okay, so anytime I'm moving into ideas, I need to be able to maintain my focus here and now as well. Because if I don't, if I'm not able to see what is here and now, what I'm feeling, what is here and now is what I'm feeling. Ideas take me into memory or they take me into future projection. It's one or the other. So it's this way or that way. And anytime I go into ideas, if I'm not able to maintain a focus on what is here and now, then I am blind as to what I am actually creating. I am not aware of where I am creating from. Where I am creating from is what I am feeling. That is the feeling state that I am creating from. And so if I'm not present here and I'm talking about future potentials and future timelines and future events, then I'm imagining a future, I'm imagining potentials, and these potentials are where I'm aligning myself to. I'm aligning myself to a timeline, to a future timeline. However, if I'm not present here and now and feeling at the same time, then what kind of timeline am I aligning myself to? And this is what wants to be seen. In order to align myself with a future timeline that comes from a feeling state of joy, that comes from a feeling state of happiness, that comes from a feeling state of love, then I need to be able to direct my focus so that I am feeling that feeling state in this now moment as I am using my mind to align with the future timeline. So I need to develop the ability to see in the present before I move into imaginations of a future. If I'm talking about imaginations of the future, and as I said earlier, and I'm going to repeat it because this needs repeating, anytime I talk about the future, I'm moving into an imagination. I am imagining a future. I'm using my mind and I'm imagining a future, creating it here. It's mind. Mind is moving. Mind is creating an imagination of a future. It has nothing to do with now. Now is always what I'm feeling. So I'm breaking this down so that it's very simple, so that it can be seen clearly. When I talk about ideas that I know, then that is past. That is all old knowledge. That is all ideas of a past, ideas of something that happened, things that I've heard. That is also imagination. What is real is always now, and it is always what I'm feeling. And so, as I move into imagination, and there's nothing wrong with imagination. Imagination is how we have a reality. Wonderful. It's enjoyable. It's fun. Let's continue to play in this dream because it's enjoyable. However, waking up requires the ability to be present now. It requires the ability to see what I'm feeling now and to take responsibility for this, because this is my experience. My experience has nothing to do with the imaginations. It has nothing to do with the ideas of the past or the ideas of the future. My experience always has to do with right now and what I'm feeling here and now. That is the feeling state. And to be embodied is to take responsibility for one's feeling state. To be very clear about the frequency, which is the feeling state that one is choosing to hold in the body. Which has nothing to do with ideas. It has nothing to do with imaginations. The reality around you, which is perceptual and conceptual, has nothing to do with your felt sense. Has nothing to do with your feeling state. However, your feeling state directs the timeline that you align with. So the future reality that you perceive, that you align with, is guided by and preceded by your feeling state. And so if you are not aware of what you are feeling, if you are not taking responsibility for your felt sense of what is now, and moving into what you're feeling, becoming present with what you're feeling, and aligning yourself consciously with your chosen felt state. Feeling state of love, feeling state of happiness, feeling state of joy, feeling state of acceptance, feeling state of hope. If you are not choosing to align yourself with these feeling states, then what is the future that appears in front of you? It is a future that is aligned with whatever it is that you're feeling. And so what is it that you're feeling? If you're not present here and now and aware of what you're feeling here and now, then it's whatever's there. You have no idea. You can't see it. You're blind. And this is how entire planetary collectives get pulled onto very, very painful and evil, if you want to call it that, timelines. Evil because what is moving you onto that timeline is a feeling state that is very chunky, that doesn't feel good. A feeling state that is anger, rage, wrath, fear. These feeling states, where do they bring us? They bring us onto timelines that are very hellish. They bring us into conceived realities that are very hellish, that are essentially hell. Hell realms, hell dreams. Because this is the experience that you are having. because this is what you are feeling. However, when you are in your mind, imagining a reality, imagining a timeline, but unaware of what you're actually feeling, then what you conceive of is hellish, because you're actually feeling hell in your body. That is your felt state. That is always what is bringing you onto your timeline. You align with a timeline based on what you're feeling. And so as I was watching this video earlier tonight, I really got a sense of how little awareness there was in the body of the two people that were talking about future events. How little embodiment there actually is. And so what does that do? It makes one blind. And what is blindness really? Blindness is feeling and being a victim. Feeling and being someone that is tossed around by the waves around them. Feeling and being in a reality that you have no control over. That you have no say over. Feeling and being weak and small. And all of this comes from spending all of your moments in imagination. Because all you ever have is this moment. So as soon as you go into imagination and you're not present here and now, then all of your awareness is focused on what? It's focused on the imagination. And so if you are in the imagination, then where's your power? It's not here, it's in imagination. Is this becoming clearer? Comment. Let me know. Let me know if it's not clear so that we can get clearer, so that you can really begin to see it. Because this is where your strength is. Your strength is in seeing what is now. All of your power is in awareness now. And you can never lose your power. Your power cannot be lost. It can go into an imagination. It can go into a thought. But the moment that you come back into now, you have all your power. Thank you, Lane, for commenting. Yeah, so this helps me to let me know that I'm speaking clearly. Because these things the mind likes to cover up. And it actually runs away from what I'm speaking about. So you may notice that arise as you're listening to me, that your mind comes up with ideas that are pulling you away from what I'm showing you, what I'm pointing to. Because as soon as you see it, then you step into the fullness of your power. As soon as you recognize it, then you're here and now, and you're no longer blind. You are never powerless, ever, 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 ever. The experience of powerlessness comes from not being aware of what you're feeling. And so to come back into your power is to embody, which is to bring your focus to what you're aware of now. And then the more focus that you can command in this now moment, the more you are aware of what you are feeling in this now moment, the more ability you have to choose your feeling state And then with that feeling state, align yourself with a future timeline. Now, this is challenging at first because it is like developing a new muscle. Lane says, as you're speaking, I'm feeling into the moment and my imagination wanders and I stop feeling. Yes, exactly. So it's like a new muscle. And so the fact that you're seeing this and how the mind moves and it pulls you into imagination, you now have the ability to begin to practice. And practicing is working out this new muscle. This new muscle is developing the ability to be present now, as presence is. And this is where all of your power is. All of it, all of it, all of it. And so as you see how your mind is pulling you into imagination and you have no ability to be present with what you're feeling now, then you can also recognize how disempowered that you've been. How much energy has been given to imaginations? How many of your moments have been given to imaginations with no presence here, with no ability to see now? Completely blind. This is what sleeping is. This is the difference between asleep and awake. There's a lot of talk about waking up, and that waking up is something to do with learning about new facts. That's not what waking up is at all. Not at all. It has nothing to do with learning about new facts or new imaginations. No. Okay, so new facts and new imaginations bring you into a place where you begin to question your reality. Wonderful. Let's question our reality. Let's come into a place of unknowing where we unknow what we've always known. This is positive because in unknowing what we've always known, then we can become more present here and now. And in becoming more present here and now, then I have the ability to align myself with a future potential based on a felt sense that is conscious rather than unconscious. So wonderful if you want to move on to a timeline that feels really chunky and have that experience. If you want to move on to a timeline that is being moved from a feeling state of fear, a feeling state of panic, a feeling state of anxiety, then wonderful. Have that experience, have that exploration. There's nothing wrong with that. It's completely open game. Everyone can have the experience that they want, and in truth, everyone is having the experience that they want all the time. Simply what I'm reflecting for you here and now is giving you a pointer so that you can become the master of your own experience consciously. You've always been the master of your own experience. However, you haven't consciously been choosing. And consciously choosing is not about looking at future potentials and saying, oh, I like that one. No, there's nothing to do with that. It is all about seeing what I'm feeling here and now and choosing my feeling state. And from that feeling state, aligning myself with a future. And in truth, I don't even need to have ideas about the future. Simply by directing my feeling state, then I align with the future timeline that is aligned with that felt sense. And so the imagination is really quite irrelevant. From the felt sense, everything forms around it. It's like choosing a channel on the television. What type of channel would you like to choose? Would you like to choose a channel that is aligned with love? Or would you like to choose a channel that's aligned with panic? You see? By bringing the focus into the body here and now, feeling what the body is feeling fully and completely, one steps into their power. That is your truth. So, welcome to maturity. Maturity is taking responsibility for what you're feeling. Thank you for joining me this evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.